Is the material world a construct of our minds? Modern man has made science their God. Quantum physics is, in part, the study of electrons and their behavior as it relates to people observing their behavior. In other more specific words, electrons exist in the form of waves of energy until we observe them, at which time those electrons change into what appears to be matter. Because of the observations of quantum physics, we can, for the sake of argument, group people into two groups, realists and idealists. The words realist and idealist are used broadly with meaning outside of the subject matter of quantum physics. For the sake of the discussion of quantum physics, a realist would be someone who believes in the existence of a material world outside of his own observation of a material world. In other words, reality exists even if the realist is not observing it or consciously aware of it. In opposition to that belief, an idealist is someone who sees the results of quantum physics and agrees that nothing has mass or exists physically outside of our observing it. In other words, everything we see is the creation of our conscious minds, and before we see it, matter is only existing as waves of energy with potential for becoming matter. There is no reality beyond our own consciousness of it. Consciousness is all that really exists. A Bible-believing Christian should have major problems with the way an idealist thinks. Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." Between Genesis 1:1 and Genesis 2, we learn of all that God created, and then in Genesis 2:1 we read, "Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them." To say that nothing exists outside of our own observation is akin to saying that God has not created anything physical, but rather that everything is energy without form, and only we give that energy form by observing it. Is it not possible that God is the observer that gives energy form? Of course it is. The things that God made thousands of years ago are finished, and they're being held together, observed by God. They have become material. When we observe electrons or waves of energy turning into particles, we are observing the creative power that God put in us, because God has made us, if I may, lesser creators. We are made in the image of God, and so we are like him. Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them." Saying that nothing exists outside of our own consciousness is ignorant thinking and is akin to the Antichrist spirit, because 1 John 4:2-3 says, "Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. This is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world." Many people have not observed that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh. He has and will forever have a physical body. After he rose from the dead, people saw him and touched him. He even ate physical food in their presence. He was taken up into heaven in a physical body and will return in a physical body, at which time all will see him. Acts 1:10-11 says, "And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven." Years later, God gave the Apostle John a vision of the return of Jesus Christ. Revelation 1:7 says, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen.